This is the 2016 Mazda CX-5 Grand Touring. It's a cute little SUV with a puppy dog face, but if you really stop and think about it, it's a bit of a tough sell. Let me climb out of here and I'll explain what I mean. When I say the CX-5 is a tough sell, I mean that whenever I go to recommend it to friends or family members looking to buy in this segment, I always get met with the same argument. And that's that when you put it on paper next to its competition, the Mazda CX-5 doesn't really stand out from the crowd in any way. For example, its 2.5-liter Skyactiv engine makes 184 horsepower and 185 pound-feet of torque, which is fine, but it doesn't really stand out from the crowd in any way. It's actually pretty middle of the road. Likewise, the EPA's estimated 26 miles per gallon combined, which breaks down to about 24 in the city and 30 on the highway, is also far from the best in class. It's, again, middle of the road. And then there's the dashboard tech. Mazda Connect is about as well defined by the features that it doesn't have as it is by those that it does. It's missing a lot of features that we like to see at this price point, things like Android Auto and Apple CarPlay and connected features that actually matter. And the driver aid tech, that's pretty much non-existent. We've just got adaptive cruise control, that's about it. But you'll notice I did say that I have recommended the CX-5 to friends and family members, so what's up with that? Well, one of the things that Mazda does really well is deliver a very engaging and dynamic drive without a whole lot of hardware. So even though its engine isn't the most powerful one in the class, it is a very peppy engine that feels well mated to this lightweight chassis. Likewise, the handling is pretty much second to none. You're not going to find another car in this class at this price point that handles as well or feels as good on the road as the CX-5. It's basically the best. And then getting back to Mazda Connect, yeah, its feature list is basically limited to Bluetooth and satellite radio and navigation, the basic stuff, but it does a really good job of organizing those features in a way that is very conducive to driving. So you're never going to get lost in the interface looking for a feature because frankly there's not a whole lot there to get lost in. For a lot of drivers, that's a good thing. Less is more, simpler is better. And even though the driver aid features are pretty limited, we've just got on this fully loaded Grand Touring, adaptive cruise control, LED headlights with adaptive high beams, and lane departure warning but not assist. I'm thinking that the kind of driver that values a simple driving experience and simple technology maybe doesn't need a car that can correct itself in the lane and park itself. We live in a world where we're all pretty much obsessed with getting the best or having the most bullet points for the dollar, but the Mazda CX-5 is the kind of car that makes you reevaluate what best means. For example, my mom, a smart and tech-savvy woman, bought a fully loaded Toyota Highlander with all the bells and whistles, probably because it was the best one on the lot. But she doesn't understand what half of the features on the car do. Now, you can make the argument that she bought more tech than she needs or that she should spend more time getting to know the stuff that she bought, but the fact of the matter is that a car like the CX-5 will never have you having that argument with yourself because it basically gives you everything that you need to have an engaging and safe drive and almost nothing that you don't. With the Mazda CX-5, the key is to just not overthink things too much because its strengths lie in its simplicity and in its driving character. It's a car that's okay with just being a really good car and not necessarily a gadget. And yeah, it's got some cool tech bells and whistles, but they're secondary to the driving experience, which is most important for some drivers. And at around $35,000 fully loaded for this Grand Touring all-wheel drive model, it's also pretty affordable as well, so sometimes the best choice is the simplest one.